Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome. We are so pleased you're here to learn more about the Reset Your Narrative wellness journey provided by Return Refreshed. Today, we're going to walk you through what to expect on this wellness journey so that you can make an informed decision about joining us. We cannot wait to take this journey with you. So, first, a little bit about Return Refreshed. Return Refreshed provides small group luxury wellness tours all over the world, a perfect blend of authentic exploration and lasting rejuvenation. Our core values are delight, discover, and rejuvenate. When you've joined one of our journeys, our intention is that you walk away with a newfound delight deep in your being, a sense of playful discovery for your inner journey and for the world and people around you, and a rejuvenated mind and body equipped with wellness practices that strengthen you in your life journey. The Reset Your Narrative wellness journey is a journey of the subconscious. We've partnered with Barry O'Neill of Hypnosis of Nashville. Welcome, Barry, and thank you so much for joining us today. You're going to hear from Barry in just a moment, but first, let's give you a little taste of this gorgeous property where we will be staying in Punta Cana. Malia Punta Cana Beach Resort. It connects mind and body in an all-inclusive wellness sanctuary in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Spaces are designed to cultivate the soul through relaxation, healthy eating, and taking care of your body. Now let's step into that resort together. You'll notice that this is a space for you to breathe, to exhale, to step away. Our minds in this busy world need a place, a space to untangle themselves. And we find that when we step away with intentionality, we can come back into our world and its obligations with newfound rejuvenation and strength, and even insights for perfecting our journey. You'll see that you can explore wellness in the ways that feel right to you. There's no pressure. You can join in. There are a variety of invitations for you. The food at this resort is full of Dominican flavors for you to enjoy. And it is strongly tied to Dominican culture. When you stay at the Stay Well Wellness uh, Suites, you do get a complimentary 30-minute spa treatment for each night of your stay. What do you think? Don't you just want to step into that property now? It's beautiful. So again, we have partnered with Barry O'Neill. He is the owner of Hypnosis of Nashville. And I first met Barry when our own family and business were undergoing some huge changes. It was in 2020, and we had just found out I had a travel business that clearly was affected by COVID and the shutdowns. And we discovered that our kids were not going to be able to go back to school. So we made the decision to homeschool, which was clearly a huge change from running my business every waking hour. So I rose to the occasion for only so long and luckily stumbled upon Barry and stepped into his office and I said, "You know, Barry, I am a little nervous about giving control over to of my subconscious over to someone else." And he immediately put my fears at ease and helped me to understand that this is not his form of hypnosis is not about giving control to someone else, but it's rather about him empowering us to speak to our own subconscious so that we can effect lasting change in our own lives. And I found that really I attribute our family success in the 2020-2021 school year to that 1 hour with Barry. And I know that sounds like a big claim, but I tell you what, it was a strong experience for me. And I found that the skills that Barry taught me during that time actually transferred as well to my business life, to many different aspects of life and many different seasons of life. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite Barry to share with you. Barry, can you help our guests to understand what they can expect during this journey with you in at Malia Punta Cana?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for that lovely introduction. It was great fun working with you as well. I guess the best place to start is to kind of dispel some of those myths of hypnosis. As Erica said, there's a kind of common misconception that someone else is taking control and we're making you do something that you normally wouldn't do. But that's not how I practice hypnosis, and isn't really how hypnosis works. Hypnosis is a state that we all get into multiple times a day. It's actually about your brain waves slowing down. So if you imagine when you fall asleep at night, you pass through that's hypnotic zone, which is in essence deep relaxation. Anytime you do anything repetitive, say for work, or a common example would be driving that's given, anytime that you do something repetitive like that, you kind of dip into this subconscious zone. And it's a like most things in life, it's a blessing and a curse, because in that subconscious zone, that tends to be where our habits reside. And if you think about things in life, most of that stuff is habits. And if you keep habits for long enough, then it ends up becoming that internal narrative that we all live with. If we're hard workers and we get up every morning and go to work and have a smile on our face and give everything we can and want to move forward, then that becomes a habit. That becomes how you see yourself. That becomes your identity. And I think one of the things that everybody struggled with in this last couple of years is our identity and our internal narrative was a little bit shaken. We
Yeah.
had done things a certain way for a certain amount of time, and then suddenly the world changed and it felt unpredictable, and we didn't quite know what was going to happen. But most of all, it kind of jarred our habits to a halt. And these habits they lead about 80% of our life. If you think about getting in the shower, whatever part of your body you wash the first time or to begin with, you're always going to do that. If you wash your face the first time, or your hair, or whatever that would be, you're going to get in the shower and you're going to do that every single time without thinking about it. You'll make your coffee the same way every time without thinking about it. There's that little part of your brain that works with that automation. And again, the curse part of that is you can start to focus on the things that you don't want. And as far as your brain is concerned, your subconscious is concerned, it can't really tell the difference between what you want to focus on and what you don't want to focus on. The difference between me saying look behind you and don't look behind you, it doesn't have any difference in your mind. You still want to know what's behind you, and there's nothing behind you, if you're wondering. But those kind of directions that you get, you have to be really careful with how you speak to yourself and how you have that internal narrative. Before we move on to what our retreat will include, a really good way to think about it is how a child will learn to ride a bike. So those of you with children, or if you can remember back to being a child, you'll be riding your bike with the training wheels on, and eventually mom or dad will take the training wheels off, and you'll be riding that bike and you'll think, I'm riding my bike, I'm riding my bike, I'm riding my bike. And at some point you'll think, oh, I hope I don't fall over. And it's at that point you fall over. What we focus on tends to be what we're drawn towards. And when the world kind of stopped for a moment in these last couple of years, we were surrounded by a lot of negative and a lot of a kind of mentality of, I really don't want this. I really don't want to lose my job. I really don't want my family to be disrupted. I really don't. In our minds and our subconscious, that starts to draw a narrative and starts to create a narrative that's what you aim towards. Just like I really don't want to look behind you or look behind me, just makes me want to look behind me. So if you want to move to the next slide here, Erica, we'll go ahead and kind of describe how we move forward from that. So the first part of kind of breaking the cycle and this new habit cycle of negativity that you may have is really drilling down on who you want to be, setting up what we call the ideal you. Now, we do this through a number of different hypnotic techniques, some meditative, some more active. But what we really want to achieve at the end of it is you having a really clear picture of what you want to do. Now, one of the reasons you're able to come on these trips and these types of retreats is because you are successful. And one of the things about being successful is you've set goals and you've achieved them. You've said to yourself, I'm going to, be whatever you are, and then you've achieved it. And you've set those goals and achieved it, set those goals and achieved it. That part of your narrative keeps on going and keeps on going and keeps on going. The problem is that when we get shaken up by things like COVID or different things, different things that may happen in our family, it can change that narrative and it can change those goals to those things that are negative, that I don't want tos. And then suddenly you're really focused on who you don't want to be rather than who you do want to be. I don't want to be a bad mom. I don't want to be a bad husband. I don't want to be unsuccessful. Well, the problem is when you start identifying with that in your mind, you end up moving towards it. Just like the child on the bike was doing fine until they started thinking about that they didn't want to fall over, and then suddenly they fell over. So what we want to do is in this first day is really get a really good picture in your mind, get you to feel and identify with that ideal you. And obviously that's just the first part. Once we've kind of set our goal, we need to figure out how to move towards it. So the second day involves what we call our clearing sessions. And we need to get rid of the old to build the new. We need to get rid of these subconscious loops and these subconscious habits that we have. And a good thing to remember is your emotions do play a part in establishing your habits, but they don't necessarily continue to create the habit moving forward. So breaking habits are easy if you have something to move towards, but you have to realize through these clearing sessions that you have to get rid of these old habits that have been caused by emotion in the first place, that maybe now are just habits. If you're scared of a spider, for example, the chances are that at this point in time, that's not the first time you've ever seen a spider. You have a long history of maybe seeing a spider when you were younger and being scared, or being chased around by a menacing cousin with a dead spider in his hand, or all these kind of examples of that. So when it comes to this point, you're terrified of those spiders, but the emotion about being scared about the spiders doesn't belong to now. It doesn't belong to now. It belongs to back then. And it's the same if you're scared to move forward. You're scared to be loved or give love. You're scared of success or failure. These emotions are typically tied to something in the past and these bad habits. And day two is very much about clearing out those emotions and clearing out those bad habits. And once we've done that, as we talked about,
Barry, may I jump in there real
yeah,
quick?
please.
One of the things that you taught me as well is that a lot of times those habits that you're talking about weren't necessarily bad habits. They actually
Yeah.
served really well in that last season. And so let's say our businesses have just gone through a dramatic growth and we have, absolutely nailed it as business leaders last year. Why am I stumbling this year?
Mm.
Why am I not moving forward as with this growth the way I want to? Well, that's when we understand. Barry helped me to understand it's not good or bad necessarily. Those were good habits for then, but like you said, Barry, they don't serve you well now.
Absolutely. A lot of these
Yeah.
habits can just be redundant. A lot of people that suffer from, say, anxiety in my practice, that anxiety was maybe a good thing when they were younger, because anxiety means that you're on watch, you're on guard. If you grew up in
Yeah.
a family where, the surroundings were unpredictable or parents were unpredictable, it's not a bad coping mechanism to expect the worst. You can dodge the punches or dodge the emotional blows. But if you get into the habit of doing that, then you're just getting the habit of having that anxiety. And that threat maybe doesn't exist now. Maybe you're in a new relationship and, it's a good relationship, but you still feel anxious about it. You still feel nervous about it. It maybe causes you to make bad decisions. And that's one of those things where you have to disconnect from that. You have to clear that out so you don't continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. And as Erica says, it's not necessarily about good or bad. It's maybe just redundant. and as you want to move forward, and really identifying that ideal you and getting rid of that noise from the past really helps you to clear that up and aim towards what you want. And with entrepreneurs as well, it's very, very common. One of the biggest issues for entrepreneurs is moving from being a small business owner to being a medium sized or a big business owner. You have to let go. You have to trust that you have employed the right people to do the right job. You can't control everything anymore. So that habit of working really hard and having your finger in everything and making sure you're connected to all that sort of stuff, that eventually becomes a bad habit as your or a redundant habit rather, as your business scales, because at that point you're just a micromanager who can't let their business move forward because they can't move out the way. So just because they were good habits initially doesn't mean that they continue to be good habits as you grow. And again, identifying who you want to be and getting rid of the redundancy is such a powerful technique to help you move forward. And talking about moving forward, in day three, becoming the ideal you is exactly where we want you to be. We want to solidify and help you establish new habits, good habits, habits that are relevant to you moving forward. So those habits eventually will become your identity. Just like we talked about right at the beginning, if you repeat a habit enough, it just becomes who you are. If you're the person who gets up and works hard, that's how you see yourself. It drives your behavior. If you see yourself as a runner, you're going to get up and you're going to run every day. If you see yourself as a smoker, you're going to get up and you're going to smoke every day. Now, it's just that repetition of habit. If you see yourself as you want to be, then you're going to get up and be that person every single day. And it's going to repeat and repeat and repeat until that's just who you are. And that's just what you do automatically. And it's that shift and change and that shift in identity and ultimately that rewriting of that narrative, that internal narrative that will help you move towards success and however you see it, being again a better partner, being a better business owner, being a better employee or employer. All those things are very much tied to your identity because that's what drives your behavior, and that identity starts with resetting that narrative.
Fantastic. Barry, I cannot wait for
I'm excited. Couldn't think of a more
the
beautiful
next.
place to do this either.
I know, right? So now what Barry has just shared with you, you can tell there's going to be a lot of inner journey work while we are together, but it is going to be empowering work. And on top of that, we are interspersing it with lots of fun. So, play is a really important component to our wellness. As kids, we didn't need to be taught how to play, it was just what we lived and breathed. But somewhere along the line, as we grow up, we lose that ability to play. And so it's time for us to learn how to play again, especially after the trauma of the last few years. We're going to find delight in the moments of our life journey again. Moments of play abound on this journey at Malia Punta Cana Beach. The accommodation. So I had mentioned that there is this thing called the Wellness Suite by Stay Well. All of our rooms are actually in the concierge level of the resort. It is a more exclusive VIP area of the resort, and again, fully wellness oriented. But you do have the option to upgrade into our Wellness Suite by Stay Well. So imagine you've just awakened from a sound night's sleep thanks to the in-room air purification system, the mood enhancing aromatherapy, and the organic Stay Well mattress. It's designed for back support. You open your eyes not to glaring light nor to utter darkness, but rather to a gentle dawn simulator, allowing you to wake gradually and gently. You're feeling at ease as you sip espresso on your lanai, listening to the gentle lull of the ocean waves. The tropical breeze whispers through the palms and caresses your skin. You check in with your personal wellness concierge. There's one for every room. And you confirm your 30-minute spa treatment. And after a little stretching and yoga in your room, using the yoga props and exercise ball that are provided, you're looking forward to a day of relaxation and self-discovery. But first, you know you've got to try out that decadent vitamin C infused shower. Reluctant to leave your private sanctuary, but knowing that so many delights await you, you step outside and meander through the tropical garden. You eventually arrive at the exclusive open air VIP dining room and enjoy a traditional Dominican breakfast, including fried plantains, Dominican sausage, an array of tropical fruits, and fresh squeezed jugo de chinola or passion fruit juice. If only you could stay here forever. So just in front of you here, you see this is the concierge level. It's called the Level, and it is beyond your expectations. It offers an extraordinary all-inclusive Caribbean experience. Exclusive facilities, the finest suites, more personalized attention. You do have a butler for each room, and a wide variety of extra benefits, making your getaway in Punta Cana simply unforgettable. This here is the VIP lounge, and that is located on that center level there. Up here is our exclusive rooftop bar. It's fabulous. There's gentle live music in the evenings. And then down here is where we eat most of our meals, but you do actually have optional options of other restaurants all over the resort. And of course, those are included in your stay. So we're going to step in to the gorgeous spa at Malia Punta Cana now. There's a Japanese style tea room that serves moringa tea, which is native to Dominican Republic. And you can linger there as long as you would like. Remember, if you're in the Stay Well suite, you are provided with complimentary spa treatments for every night of your stay. And you also have unlimited access to the hydrotherapy circuit. That moving water is producing negative ions that are helping to cleanse your body as you linger. You will find that you absolutely exhale when you enter that spa. And when you leave, be careful because your legs will be jello. All right, so that is it for our presentation today. I really do hope that we have answered any of the questions that you may have about our retreat. There are several dates to choose from, and you can check that out on our website at returnrefresh.org. Again, we hope that you will delight and discover and rejuvenate with us. And should you have any further questions, I am Erica Pollock. I'm the founder and CEO of Return Refreshed. You can reach me at erica@returnrefresh.org or at 309-416-7834. And again, our website is right here, returnrefresh.org. Thank you so much, everyone. I cannot wait to enjoy this journey with Barry and with you all. And again, contact us if you have any questions.
Look forward to seeing you all there.
Thanks so much for joining me, Barry.
Thanks. Bye.